Okay, guys, we are back for chapter 20. This is the last chapter of the book, and this chapter is called Pack. Pack. So, if you'll remember in the chapter before, he has heard another wolf, and he's in a new area now, kind of back, sort of like where he started, and he's seen elk, or marks of elk or whatever. But he has heard the sound of another wolf. So here we are. Chapter 20 is called Pack. I am ready now. I howl to the new wolf. I put all my strength and all my hopes into the howl. The echo of it rings from the mountain tops, and into the silence that follows comes a lower, sweeter howl. I drink in the sound, and in my joy I almost answer back in the tail-wagging yip of a pup. I stop myself mid-wag, and I give a dignified howl, a howl that would do my pack proud. The new wolf howls right back. I lift my head, and I taste the wind. Yes, she is on the ridge across from me. A good night's run. I would not care if it were 10 nights' run. I will not stop until I find her. I take the ground between us like a bird takes the sky. I remember when Father came home from the hunt, and we all crowded up to him, bowing our heads and lowering our tails. He went among us, tapping each of us on the head, showing us that we belonged to the pack, promising to always feed us. I want to be a wolf like my father for this new wolf. I have not even met her, and I already want to take care of her, hunt for her, and protect her. I work my way down the ridge and into the valley between us. There are elk to hunt. There is home ground to mark, a den to dig, and a night sky waiting to be filled with howling. I work my way up the opposite side, and she calls out to me again and again from the same place. She is guiding me to her. Hope rises in me, and I sprint the last upward stretch. The fox-colored trees with the bird-wing needles are thick on the ground here, and the ferns and the huckleberries. One last call, so close, and there she is, a raven black wolf pacing in a meadow before me, a black wolf with amber eyes. I breathe in her scent, remembering. It is the stranger wolf from the far side of the Black River. I would know her anywhere. I hold still, practically holding my breath, just to look at her. I wolf to her. She is so beautiful, I can't look away. I wolf softly to her again. I have traveled a long way to find you. I stand my tallest. I hold up my ears and my tail, and I walk toward her. She holds my gaze and growl wolfs in return. She holds her ears and her tail up tall. She is big. The closer I come, the more I see that she is just as tall as me, and is broad in the shoulder. The young wolf that ran away from his home ground would have been afraid, but I have left that wolf far behind. I am more than swift now. Speed is not the only thing I have to offer. I have covered more ground than my mother or father ever did. I have seen new animals, new trees, birds they have never met, in lands they have never traveled. Call me Wonder, I say. Night, she answers. I am Night. She is glossy, black from nose to tail. Her beauty takes my breath away. But she does not duck her head or lower her tail, not even for the briefest flick. This is not how I thought this would be. I stop. My father was the settled leader of our pack. He never showed me how to meet a grown wolf for the first time. I take a step, and I stop again. She keeps looking at me with those unblinking amber eyes, and I cannot break away from her gaze. I take another step. She does not lower her tail to me. I try all the tricks that worked on my sisters. I bark a command. I pound the ground with my front paws. Worm bowed to me always, and Wag sometimes, and in the end, when we were full grown, I could even get Pounce to lower her tail. But this wolf? This Night will not budge. I do not know what to do next. Night takes a step toward me, and then another. Her tail is as tall as ever. It waves from side to side. I cannot stop looking at it, though a smart wolf would be watching her teeth. It could be a trick. I should be careful. But the smell of her is so good, so good. I give my deepest growl and drum the ground again. She lowers her head and her chest, but this is no crouch of a following wolf. She is getting ready to spring. I crouch as well, and when we spring together, it is like the elk that crash head to head in battle. I run the length of the meadow with Night behind me so close I can feel her breath. I spin Snarl at the edge of the meadow and I chase her back. She is fast and strong. We sprint round and round the meadow, first her leading and then me. She is wild and fierce and a born hunter. If she will have me, I will never be hungry again. Overhead, I hear the call of a raven. I stop to listen, and so does Night. A raven comes and lands on the bowed head of a hemlock tree, raining down needles on both of us, or on us both. I know it is not my raven, but it comforts me to find her kin here after all my travels. I promise myself that I will listen to ravens as my father did, and his father before him. I see that Night is listening too. I cannot take my eyes off her. I take a step toward her in silence, ears up and tail level. She steps toward me. I take a step, and she takes another. Our noses touch. A shiver passes through me from ears to tail. Night takes one step closer and rests her head on my shoulder. I rub my head against her neck, and I lick her ears. Will you hunt? She says. Yes. Elk? She says. Yes. Always? Yes. I run with her, pain forgotten and long journey forgotten, and all my loneliness forgotten. We pause on the ridgeline to listen smell, and then run silently, looking for the open clearings where elk like to feed. We pick up a scent in the same moment, and Night knows what to do without being told. She leads the stalking of the elk, picks the sheltered approach. We pause to watch, noticing a yearling buck that has wandered to the edge of the group. I lead the chase, cutting him off from the rest of his pack, turning him again and again to keep him on open ground. We make the killing blow together. The elk falls. I make a final bite to the throat to still its kicking legs. We stand over our meal, red running from our mouths, and she knows. She waits, just for a moment, to be grateful for the life we have taken, and in that moment I am more grateful for the life I've found than the one I've taken. She still will not lower her tail to me, and I suspect she never will. But she has not made me lower my tail to her either, an equal bond, like mother and father. When we have eaten our fill of the elk and left a share for the coyotes and ravens, I am fuller than food alone could ever make me. We walk back to our home meadow and mark each tree, one on top of the other. Not mine, not only mine, ours. All through the heat of summer and into the snowy bliss of winter, we hunt side by side. There are elk aplenty and streams full of clear water to drink. Some days we run in the snow for the pure joy of running. We fill the nights with howling, and we faithfully mark the borders of our home ground. But there is no threatening howl from an enemy pack. There is only one black river, and very seldom does the stench of men come into our forest. Men are easy to avoid as we roam the ridges and valleys and hidden lakes of our mountains. This is how a wolf should live. Even so, some days I search out the sunrise side of our mountains and look back. I remember Warm, and I sent my howl to him on the wind, not because I think he can hear me. I call to him because in my heart I want to believe that he is on a mountainside somewhere with good wolves all around him and plenty of elk to eat. I want to believe that even in his happiness he will always look for me. The smell memory of my brother has followed me all this way, across rivers and deserts and mountains and burned ground. I breathe in the memory, knowing that we will always and never be together. Winter holds the mountains in its frozen grip, but as the days grow long, it melts into spring. Night becomes quiet and more mysterious than before. She digs a den deep in the most hidden valley of our home ground. We line it with grass together, and then she hides herself away from me for days and days. I hunt alone and bring her the best of everything. I do not howl, I cannot howl, while she is hidden from me, but I watch for the wolf star on the morning horizon. I wait and hope. The moon swells from a sliver to a circle, and just when I think my night will never come back to me, I hear voices deep inside the den. My night, and 3 voices more. Our pups begin in darkness, but my nose tells me that they are mine, ours, a pack of our own. I nose touch my things tonight. I lick all 3 pups from ears to tail, memorizing every squirming bit of them. Every step of my journey was for this, beautiful this. I lift up my head and I sing their names to the wolf star that watches us all. Oh, look at that. They're so cute. Precious. That was the end of the story. Okay. It ends with a little, I don't know if you'd call it an epilogue, but it has some behind the story information. So I will come back and read that as well next time. Thanks.